So we're not in Leicester Square, we're in a square in Leicester City Centre, right outside this beautiful former bank building which we've just purchased. And we're just preparing right now for a shareholders meeting. As you know, we have financed this building with shareholder equity. I pitched to members of our Mastermind program the opportunity to invest in this deal. We raised more than £1 million to fund the purchase. We're going to convert this building into 8 one-bedroom flats and also 3 or 4 shops on the ground floor. So that's what's happening. We've got a bit of work to do because our investors are coming to see this project for the first time. They've all invested their money based on the pitch and the pitch deck and the proposal and all the rest of it. But this is the first time they're going to see the property. So we want them to see it in the best light and to see that they've made a sound investment decision. So let me go in there and help Andrew with the preparations. Okay, so let's go inside, and as we're getting ready for our shareholders to arrive, meet Andrew, my business partner in this whole venture. Hi, Andrew.
Hi, bud. How are you?
Yes, so we're getting ready for the shareholders, isn't it?
Absolutely. Well, I've got one more Corex to put up, and then we're going to go mark out the flats on the floor.
You're going to love that. We'll come on to that in a moment. But this is exciting, isn't it? Because this is going to be the first time they've seen this project. They've actually invested in our pitch.
I was going to say, it was Property Elevator in reverse.
Absolutely.
It was a great one, that was.
But, we raised the funding, and it just goes to show, which we always say, that if you find the right deal where the figures stack up and they make sense, you'll always find the money.
Absolutely. I mean, we were oversubscribed by 100%. That tells you the deal was half decent.
Absolutely spectacular. Anyway, we have got to get some more work done. So you may notice we've got quality Prosecco for our shareholders meeting, because this of course is a below market value property, and that's why we're going for below market value sparkling bubbly. Andrew, where's he gone? Oh, he's line marking.
We'll make it a double, Ranjan. We can both fit in.
Width 2.6. I'll
2.6.
just do it slightly less than 2.6.
If I go...
The wall is in the wrong place.
Mm, 0.7 metres, this length is. Order. Can we have some order? This is our first inaugural shareholders meeting, and I'd like to introduce today's chairman for the board, Mr. Ranjan Bhattacharya.
Welcome, folks. So this is Mastermind Ventures 1. the first shareholders meeting actually in our investment project here in Leicester. Now, when Andrew told me about this site, he said it's Leicester Square. Got all excited, jumped in the car, found out it was a square in Leicester, but really fell in love with the building. The building is absolutely fantastic. It ticks a lot of boxes. And just explain a little bit about what we liked about the building.
Well, thank you. Well, when you said you fell in love, I actually thought it was me you'd fallen in love with at the time, rather than the building. But again, that was me getting confused. I'm sorry, guys, but it's just the way it goes. Well, this is more than one square. We have the beautiful town square out here, which in the summer, when I've seen this building, is a phenomenal place. There's people sitting out there just enjoying the square. We also have a second square, so it's better than Leicester Square because that's only one square. This is a square in Leicester with two squares, one outside each side of the building. So we've got two entrances to this building, two high street focus, therefore two sets of Zone A footage.
It's a bit like the old days. Remember the 45 singles when you used to get those double A sides? You know, there is no Zone B here. You've got Zone A there and Zone A there. And for commercial property, the thing is, this unit, this size of unit, there's a limited market space to rent this size of space nowadays with the internet and the way things have moved on. Now, when you've got a double A side, meaning Zone A's on both sides, you can quite envisage how you can shove a wall straight down the middle, and you've got retail on both sides. And this is a 12-metre wide frontage. So you can still shove a wall down the middle there again, and you've got four smaller shops, 6 metres wide, where there's much more of a ready market to rent. And that's a phenomenal exit out of the ground floor retail element. What are we going to do with the space above?
Well, the space above, it's a bit of a white elephant. As you've all had a look up through that ceiling void, we've got 3.8 metres above your head. So if you're a retailer, that gives you a lot of space up there that you can utilise. It also helps us in terms of upstairs. We propose to put some flats. So we can drop waste pipes through this huge void. We can add our soundproofing, add our fireproofing, and this building now is bomb-proof. But talking of bombs, this was built in 1890s.
This is an old building, and I don't like old buildings because they're messy. You have to tinker with old stuff. You have to repair a lot of stuff. There's a huge amount of load-bearing walls to get rid of, chimney stacks, all of this sort of stuff. And you've also got a huge amount of building repairs. And when you get out of very high-value areas, that can involve a lot of expense to do those building works. This building, the original building, is literally the front beautiful facade and about a metre in from that. The rest of the building is all built in 1980. So you'll see when we do the tour, we've got concrete floors. Concrete floors means it's cheaper to convert to residential. A lot of the soundproofing and stuff is already done. And the other thing is, when you convert a building to residential, first thing you've got to repair the building first. Then you've got to get a clear open floor plate, and then you get to the conversion works. So we don't have any repairs to do because it's new. We don't have any clearing and making an clear open floor plate to do because that's already been done. All we've got to do is spend works on the conversion, which makes it far more viable because you've still got the end values, but if you're buying an old building down the road, you've got far more conversion costs, and that's where you lose your margin.
So what you've got, basically, is a modern building with an old frontage that adds character and heritage and looks very sexy on that square. And we've got a few
bit like
money
us,
shots.
really. Yeah. Modern, old frontage, but...
and a lot of character. And he's got a lot of front.
Oh, dear, I don't know where to go from that one.
Well, what I'm thinking is, I think we should sort of take them where a customer would go on a customer journey here.
This is the first floor, and this is the sort of area where this is a customer-facing part of the bank. The other parts weren't so customer-facing. They were much more back office. We'll come on to those in a mo. But this is where you'd be coming up to get your loan applications, and you'd be sitting in here. You'd come in and say, "Can I have a loan?" And they'd say, "Computer says no." You know, so that's what went on here in these nice little rooms.
Computer says no.
This wall here, where we are, is flat 1. So you're now all stood in flat 1. And that there is approximately the size of the bedroom. It's not too far off. The bedroom will be a little bit bigger than this.
Without the see-through wall.
Absolutely. Well, I don't know. It's a flat. We could leave them. This here is the lounge area. And working our way back from the bedroom, where Ranjan is stood, will be a dressing room. It'll have a slide partition door to where Michael is stood, and where Michael is stood will be a slide wall into the ensuite.
Pocket doors for efficiency.
Absolutely. So we've got the ensuite. About where Nina is stood, she's on top of the WC. Because not only do we have an ensuite, but we have a separate bathroom for guests. And coming around here, in the little office just by Nilesh, is the kitchen.
So what we've done with these, I said we've got 1-bedroom flats, and they're all 50 square meters, which is quite generous. And that's because it's a deep building and there's some inner space. So we've used the inner space to give things that you wouldn't normally expect in a 1-bedroom unit, such as, obviously you've got the ensuite, but what about if the ensuite, if you enter the ensuite from a walk-in wardrobe dressing area. So that allows you not to have the clutter in the main bedroom area. So we're using spaces that don't need natural light to give something extra, which will be of value for the future occupants. Notice how different the areas which aren't front of house are. This is where the back office staff would have worked and all of that. And it's slightly less palatial, shall we say, as the customer-facing areas. So we're in the front of the building. The
Join
same old,
us in
as I
us
said,
in this flat, everyone.
six of these flats have the lovely views of the square. And as I said before, with all these floors, you can see the concrete and all of that, modern construction all the way back. So it's nice and simple to do. And on these floors, it divides. The first floor was the challenge because it's long and deep. With this floor, you can see front to back, natural light, natural light. These 3 floors are much easier than the floor that we've just been in. That was a challenge to design, and we've been through loads of iterations on that. But this one is relatively simple and very nice because you've got 50 plus square meters for 1-bedroom flats. And Andrew's going to give us a guided tour of each flat.
Well, but as we come out of this bedroom here, what we've got is another pocket door going into an ensuite. So we've got the WC, the basin and the shower. We've got here potentially either a built-in wardrobe or a cupboard that can be used storing on this side of the wall.
Earlier, if anyone is, now that you've seen the thing, if anyone is unhappy, we're offering a share buyback.
Yeah.
Right, let's go downstairs where it's a bit warmer. because what we're doing here is quite unique. I mean, you know, we're doing training, we're doing education and all of that, but there's nothing else like it where you can actually, you learn the stuff, you learn all the principles. Yes, you go away and do it on your own, but there's a chance to actually invest as shareholders and participate in a project that in one project displays so many of the principles that we teach. I mean, this is not you giving us a loan and we're giving you a bit of interest. You guys are shareholders in Mastermind Ventures One, which collectively owns this asset and is developing out. And what you're going to get is the journey, warts and all, what happens at the end, and also that shareholder value. And that, as part of the learning experience, is something that I don't think is really something that normally goes on. So I hope, even though I'm wearing a remarkably silly hat, I hope you kind of get the seriousness of this project and message and what it is that we're up to here. Because I think this is going to be incredibly fun. I always like to do things that are incredibly fun. And I think this is going to be a fun ride. So cheers.
Cheers. Health, wealth, happiness to everybody, and success for the project.
Can I just say that I really thank you guys, because, you know, when I've been doing this property elevator lark, I haven't really given much thought to what it's like to actually pitch. And when I made that pitch, and we were asking for quite a bit of money, it was quite scary, and I was I was touched, really. I mean, we raised more. We had pledges for more than double of what we needed, and that was all without seeing the building. So it was very, very. I mean, thanks for the confidence that you had, and that kind of really keeps us on top of our game, doesn't it? That incredible confidence that this is a sound project, and it is. It is.
More than anything, I think, as a group, we've invested in you guys as much as the project. So the confidence, I think, from most people here has come from you guys, not actually the building itself. So in return, thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers.
I hope you enjoyed that video, folks. Commercial to residential conversions is going to be the #1 strategy, at least for the year ahead. And that's simply because there's so many of these defunct commercial buildings that you can find, which you can convert to residential use under a light touch planning regime known as permitted development. And because commercial properties are valued at such a low price per square foot compared to residential properties, there's a considerable uplift and profit potential there to be had. But to master all this, you've really got to clue yourselves up with the skills. And we at Succeed in Property are the leading trainers in the UK at property investor education on all things to do with commercial property. If you want to find out what commercial property and commercial conversions are all about, join us at one of our free live 90-minute online masterclasses. I'll put a link in the description below, and you can see it on the screen here. Join us at our next one to get a taster of what this is all about. Then if you want to find out how to do deals like the one you've just seen, then attend our 8-week commercial property course. That will give you the lowdown on all these new permitted development rights, how to find commercial property deals where you can exploit these rights to the maximum, how to quickly evaluate deals, how to fund them, and how to actually develop them out. And I'll leave a link for that 8-week commercial property course. You can see it on the screen, and it's in the description below too. And of course, we run the UK's leading 12-month commercial property mastermind program. On the mastermind program, you really immerse yourself in an environment with a group of people who are living and breathing commercial property and commercial property conversions. Everyone's doing their own commercial property projects, but we come together as well to do joint venture projects like the one you've just seen. If you're interested in finding out more about that, again, there's a link on the screen and in the description below. Now, if you want to see how this Leicester project actually turns out, we'll be vlogging this project all the way through until the end. So make sure you subscribe to this channel, hit the bell icon so you're notified when we upload the next video. That's all for now, folks. Bye for now. Oh, bloody hell. How long does that go on for?